this year, the Toyota boys have just fully clicked. This is our first race together, and it's like I've been with them for like 6 months already, or a year. Everyone's really, really cool and connected and getting along like house on fire. So it's super comfortable already. We haven't got the big results in this tour yet, but the boys are having a blast. It's incredible sitting down at the dinner table. The boys are just cacking up and having a laugh. So that's really important. Coming into a really good organisation like Toyota, who run their team pretty much like a Pro Tour team. They're super organised and motivated and new and fresh, and so to come into a race like the Tour of California where you're racing against $1 million bike riders who are world champions, green jersey winners, world Olympic champions, mixing it up with those guys, it's awesome to be part of a fresh team that's competing at the highest level with these guys. So definitely the best race of the year, the Tour of California. And it's also awesome just to catch up with the old mates.
Tell me about that sprint finish in San Luis Obispo, because you were right there. I mean, look at that picture, and there's Bettini and Chiolik, and right behind is the Toyota United jersey with the Henk Vogels grimace at the line.
Yeah, I was kind of spewing, I hate to make excuses in sprints, but, it's so technical, these things, and if I'd have known to finish a little bit better, I probably would have been the man dive bombing the corner first wheel,
Who was the man?
I think it could have been Paolo.
That's what I was told. I didn't see it. That's what I
think Paolo was the first around the corner, and he won the race. And I was pretty close to Chiolik, and he accelerated away from me and won. But I was right there with JJ. But those guys got so much explosivity. I got the positioning, I got the the know-how and the experience, and a little bit of punch, but not what those guys have got. But it was awesome just to be part of them. We lost Ivan 10k to go. He punched.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucks because I would have been the man to put him first one in the corner. We could have had a big stage win yesterday, but that's bike racing, and the way I think of things is, it's the big wheel of fortune. It'll roll around one day and pick us up. So we had a bit of bad luck. So it's going to come around.
So you were saying you figure Jens has got to be one of the strongest bike riders racing today.
He's definitely the most aggressive cyclist I've ever had to deal with, I think. I mean, you've got the guys that win a lot and are very calculating. Jens is just pure brute strength. And a couple of years, I think it was last year when he went away with Vinokurov
I was at that stage 13.
Oh, well, that one as well, but like in Liège, Bastogne,
Liège.
Liège.
About Liège, yeah.
Well, it's just like, there you go. Like, just think about that, Liège, that was stage 13. But I mean, he's just pure brute strength. The guy's so attacking, and he can come out and ride a time trial in the Tour of California and run second to Levi, but 36 hours before he was out in a 190-kilometre breakaway. Just smashing away.
And
wins the stage, has his day of recovery, and comes out and gets beaten by a specialist time trialist. So Big Jens, he's one in a million.
What about that 5 bike length gap that JJ had in Sacramento? Have you seen the video of that?
I have.
I mean, have you ever seen anything like that? That's like, who was it? I was talking to Jens, and he said that was, last time he'd seen something like that was maybe in Cipollini's heyday.
You know what? You're going to see a lot more of that in the future.
From JJ.
You're going to see, that's going to be like the common thing with JJ Hato. They're going to be like, I think Alessandro Patacchi, when he sees this kid in action, he's going to be really worried. I'm not joking. The guy, when you see a sprint these days, you see bunch sprints are like people are winning by half a length or 3/4 of a length, and they can throw their hands up. This guy's winning by 2 or 3 bike lengths. The guy's doing it easy, and he's got such an explosivity. I was talking to Stuart O'Grady this week, and he said he was going full speed lead out, and JJ just couldn't wait. He had to go, and he accelerated past him in like 3 pedal strokes.
Yeah.
He just said this is the most incredible thing he's ever seen. I think you're going to see JJ Hato up in the likes of Patacchi, McEwen, Cipollini.
Well,
he's young, he's good, he's fast, he's got a great attitude, and
is he a sprinter more like a I mean, you said he's explosive, so that makes me think more like a guy like McEwen, who can really dial it up in the last 250 meters. But or does he have a bit of the Pataki?
I think
a bit of a Cipollini. I mean,
no, I think he's more like Chippo than Pataki. Pataki is. I think Alessandro can rely on a huge lead out, whereas Robbie doesn't need lead out. He needs a bit of positioning. But JJ is he's got a huge motor. I mean, you saw just in the time trial that he did in California that he was riding very strong. The guy can get to the final. He's very savvy, and he's got a huge explosiveness. So you're going to see a lot more of JJ.
I've noticed with JJ that he doesn't point the finger. I mean, there's I don't know what happened exactly with him coming into San Luis Obispo. I'm not sure what happened to him in Santa Rosa. I think it was actually under the bridge. Something happened with him, but he's pretty classy about it. He never points the finger. He just kind of takes the high road. I mean, all he ever says is, "I got blocked," and there's more to the story than that.
Yeah, I know the full story, but I won't go into it. But I know that he was kind of pissed off, and he sort of, as I like to say, put it in the bank, and put some interest on it, and then he could withdraw later and really use it. So he definitely. He's a cool, calm, collected guy, and that's kind of good for a sprinter.
Yeah.
Someone that can just say, okay, right, I learned from that one, it's not going to happen. And I heard the next day that certain rider that blocked him was put out of his way very quickly when he won the next day.
Yeah. It's nice having Stuart O'Grady as your lead-out man.
Oh, Stewie's incredible. He's an awesome. His Stuart O'Grady's sprinting career is based around how great of a positioner he is, and with his strength. I mean, the guy can just start the sprint in second or third wheel every time. Maybe he's going to finish second or third because he's not a great winner as far as sprint is concerned. He's won a few bunch sprints, and the guy's been up for the green jersey in the tour. So the guy knows so well how to position himself. So when you've got him looking after JJ, it's a perfect mix.
Tell me a little bit. Here we are watching the highlights from the time trial today. Tell me a little bit about your ride. I mean, it was incredibly windy. It's a technical course.
Oh, it was a horrible course. When I went out, it was pretty much 10 to 15 kilometres, just smack in the face headwind. I was like riding 54.17 into the headwind at like 36 kilometres an hour, and I was at like my max heart rate. So the guys that were like one, they were probably like riding 41, 42. It's the fastest, in the headwind. But then we sort of went up the hill.
Hurting that hard and going that slow.
Oh yeah, it was really that bad. So, but we went up the hill, and then we were doing like 75k an hour after the climb. So it was just a technical descent, and we were, just flying all the way home. But it was a really tough time trial. So, but they're cool time trials, just not just one flat piece of road. It was kind of nice to have the sweeping downhills and a bit of headwind, and so.
Even that winding climb back up, I mean, with knowing your strengths, it seems like that'd be the kind of thing that you could probably. I mean, did you big ring up that thing? Just get out of the saddle?
Personally, I just went for the time cut today because what we're here for this tour is try and get a sprint stage win with Ivan or myself, and to totally just really use a lot of energy in the time trial is not what I'm after. So I just got through today, tried to get in the time, and I went pretty hard. I lost 4 minutes, and I was like 85% all the way. So over 23k, it's a lot of time.
Would you say there's maybe some similarities between this event and Tour Down Under in Australia, where they're both
very similar? I think it's really similar. They're both very well organised. The Tour Down Under is just pretty much based in Adelaide, which kind of isolates it. But the Tour of California gets to see the whole state, and it's fantastic country riding around here. Like, I think yesterday was one of the most beautiful days I've ever had on my bike.
Cool.
It rained for an hour out of 5, but it was seriously such a spectacle to ride along that coast. I think there's 3 roads in the world where I've enjoyed riding my bike, and that's one, the Great Ocean Road where Bells Beach is in Australia. One was yesterday, all along the coast. There's once in Spain in Semana Catalana where it's pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah.
They were the three most fantastic rides I've ridden along on the coast, and yesterday was awesome. And I saw my first elephant sealed yesterday too.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. Actually, I saw about 500. They all looked dead, but they were just having a sleep.
Is there any kind of race within a race where you're kind of like looking over your shoulder at HealthNet or Navigators? Nothing?
No. Yeah, I think if you're doing that, it's pretty small-minded. I think you've got to race to win no matter what. Okay, you're taking into account, the American Pro Tour points. So we're kind of hoping for a good result in the time trial, which didn't really happen. It was a little bit disappointing, but that's how cycling is, the ups and downs. But not really, just race to win. I don't really look around to see who's the first American or first domestic guy. That's not cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously with the team taking 2 stage wins last year with JJ, a repeat of anything along those lines. Are there expectations? I mean,
There's expectations on the team because after last year, but I mean, JJ's a freak.
Yeah.
So I mean, you saw what he did when he won 2 days ago. The guy beat a green jersey winner, a world champion, an under-23 world champion, a second in the green jersey, Greg Henderson,
who's a track world champion.
Yeah. All those guys, minus Henderson, were all like pretty much $1 million bike riders.
Sure.
And he was like, okay, I didn't say it, but like he was the first domestic rider when we looked at the results that night. That's not what we're racing for, but he was pretty much the first domestic.
I'm sorry, who?
Ivan was the first domestic when he was 8th. And I think maybe I was yesterday in the sprint too, at the 7th. We were like the first 2 guys in the sprints who were domestic, we'd pump Clark, we'd pump Downing, we'd pump... Who else is there? Candelario, the fast guys. It's encouraging. It's not what we look at,
Sure. Yeah, going back to JJ, I mean, I wrote in my web report that it bordered on an embarrassment for those guys. How much? I mean, he literally had 5 bike lengths when he wrapped his legs around the top tube and posted up. I mean, if you look at the finish line photo, it's like 3 bike lengths, but he had time. He slowed down while those guys were still.
Yeah, you know what? They talk us off. It ain't Tour de France long now.
Yeah.
Either is Chilek, who's just racing his first race of the year. Greg Henderson has just done Qatar, so he's riding pretty well. Graham Brown has been doing a lot of kilometres, so he's in form, and he's smoked them. But as the first race, he's going to do awesome things for his confidence. JJ's a great guy. I think he's going to win a lot of races in Europe. I know for a fact that last year when I came on to Toyota United, I talked to Sean Tucker and I told him, you pay this guy whatever he wants to keep him.
Yeah.
So you can pay him 5 times his contract. You make sure you keep that guy on the team. But JJ wanted to go and Sean had to let him go. Sean wanted him to be, doing what he wanted to do, and JJ wanted to be on a Pro Tour team, so you got to let the guy do what he did, and Sean let him go, and unfortunately now he's the enemy.
I've never understood, I mean, obviously, sure, I understand the commodity factor of a team wanting to keep a rider, but I can't imagine that it could be anything but negative to try to keep a rider who wants to be somewhere else. I mean, there's so many different reasons why that just seems like a bad idea.
That wouldn't work.
Does it happen?
No, it doesn't work. I don't think it happens.
I know that HealthNet wanted to keep Henderson very badly.
Well, that would have been a bad move too. Henderson's spent enough time in the United States. The guy needed to move on. I helped the guy get his contract in telecom. I know Alan Piper was my director in Lotta last year, and he came to me and asked me about Greg, and I said, hey, you got to sign this guy. He's awesome. It's the biggest mistake you ever do if you don't sign him. So now you've seen already how he's riding, and he's not the level of JJ, but the guy is going to win bunch sprints in Europe. He's going to be stiff competition for the big Euro sprinters.
Yeah.
So he's a great acquisition for that team.
Riders. I mean, JJ couldn't have won Reading last year with that big 2-kilometer climb. I mean, Greg's a guy who can get over. He's a sprinter who can get over a medium climb.
He's going to do great in the classics too.
Yeah.
Hendo's a class bike rider. You don't just win the World Championship stripes. They don't give them away in cereal boxes.
What would be a race over in Europe that you could see Henderson doing really well in?
Again, Wevelgem. There's a race just after Paris-Roubaix called Skelter Prize, which like Robbie and Boonen normally win.
Is that a cobbled race?
Yeah, there's some cobbles in it, but it's a 210k race, and it's a classic. It's a Belgian classic. It's harder races where the sprinters are suffering. He's years away from being in the final of Roubaix or Flanders, but you never know with that guy. He's matured as a cyclist. He's been around a lot, his experience already, so he just needs some experience doing those races.
Speaking of Roubaix, Slipstream Sports is trying to get a spot in Roubaix, and that's a very young squad. And you've got some experience at Paris-Roubaix. You finished top 10 twice. It's got to be one of the hardest races in the world. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Fantastic that Jonathan's got him a start in there. That's awesome.
Well, I don't think it's guaranteed yet. They're hinging. They got an invite to Chrétien International.
Well, the way things are going over there now, I think they will get a start with all the BS happening over there and with the Pro Tour and everything. I think if they do get a start, they'll be lucky to get to the second feed because they're all young kids. It's experience is just raw power and huge amounts of racing and preparation involved. But I mean, these guys are going to be doing well in Criterium International and the smaller races. That's where they need to go. They need to be doing the small stuff over there and, every year building. So by the looks of it, Jonathan's got a great vision of what that team wants to be in the next 5 years, and it's excellent to see an American team coming up like that. And that's how Mercury started, and they went big, fast, probably too quick, but it's awesome for them. I'm jealous. I'm not there. I'm already jealous. I've only been here a month.
Yeah.
I'm super happy.
Is the grass always greener?
Not really, no. I'm really enjoying how everything's going in the team. Like I've said to you before, Neal, I'll be sitting watching Roubaix on television or whatever on live on TV and wishing I was there, but you make the choice, and I'm super happy where I'm at now, but kind of jealous that those guys got to start there. So
sure.
I was like, why didn't Vorders call me? I would have come with. I would have done it.
Races like Roubaix and Flanders. Tell me a little bit about what the fight is like for position before the first set of cobbles, because it seems to me that obviously the race is not won there, but it certainly can be lost. If you're not in position getting onto the cobbles the first section, you can immediately go from mid-pack back.
It was like the last 10 kilometres in yesterday's Tour of California stage. 65k an hour, lead-out trains, the whole lot. It's that nervous. Because everyone's there. The guys that can't ride the cobbles and who are, and it's probably the most dangerous time. That's what ended Peter Van Petegem's 2005 Paris-Roubaix. He crashed early and that was it. Game over, team leader gone. So it really is a huge team effort.
You were in that race?
Yeah. I was about 5 metres in front of him.
He and Steels went down? Is that right?
No, he went down, but Steels and Russoms waited for him. So.
Okay, that's right. They tried to pace him back and then they pulled the plug. That's right.
So it really is a crazy time.
Because the road narrows coming into the cobble, and all of a sudden
everyone's going fast, and it really is. It's like a bunch of different guys going up gutters, and everyone's yelling in Dutch, and screaming and carrying on, and hand slinging and bumping and headbutting. It's like a bunch sprint.
Hand slinging.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
I think the GC's completely sorted itself out today. I think Levi Leibheimer is going to be the winner of this tour. Could be a very big chance tomorrow for a stage win out of a breakaway, but then again, you see how fast JJ's going. They're going to probably bring it back, which is kind of cool for us. And then Long Beach is going to be a definite sprint.
Sure.
So the tour's pretty much sorted itself out, and it's not going to be a procession. Tomorrow's going to be a hard stage, but we're probably going to see 2 bunch sprints.
Yeah. Hey, what were your thoughts on the commissaires' decision on Monday to neutralize after the crash? It was definitely, I've heard a lot of voices from both ends of the spectrum. It was absolutely the right thing to do. I've never seen anything like that in the sport. Yeah, whatever.
What's the rule book say?
Yeah.
Whatever the rule book says, that's it for me. I haven't even got a comment.
Yeah.
If the rule book says that's how it is, then that's how it is. The commissaires have to make the right decision by a rule book, and if they've made another decision from a hometown hero, then they've got to answer for. But as far as I'm concerned, it was made by the rule book, so it has to stand, and I'm totally in support of them.
So at dinner, we were discussing one rider. If you had to name one rider, strongest bike rider racing today, and the criteria would be the rider who has the highest percentage of winning in the highest percentage of races they do. So, whether you put them in a stage race or a one-day, whether it's somebody that can win out of a sprint or breakaway, or not necessarily like a Lance Armstrong Tour de France guy, but the guy who's got 100 races on his schedule and could win 75 of them. Who's the first name that comes to mind?
Oh, the first name, that's pretty easy. That's Alessandro Valverde. But now that I think of it a little bit more, you could probably put Boonen in the mix. Paolo Bettini's up there, and Alexander Vinokourov are the 3 or 4 guys you put in that bracket. But no, probably the classiest guy of all that's Valverde, and he's going to be around for a little while longer too.
Yeah, so I was thinking that maybe Boonen would fall into the category. Not that he's not an incredible bike rider, but maybe he's a little bit more of like a specialist. I mean, he can win a Roubaix and he can win Flanders and in a field sprint, but maybe not like a Liège like the rest of those guys.
No, definitely not. I mean, look at how young the guy is and what he's done in his career. He's been world champion. He can win stage races. He can win classics. He can win bunch sprints, and he can win time trials. Small time trials. Boonen can win small time trials. He's no climber, so that leaves him out of that all-rounder category. But man, at the moment he's the man to beat for most of the races. But talking pure class, you got Alessandro Valverde. He can win bunch sprints, time trial, climb, small races. He's just that explosive. Even when he's suffering uphill in a climb, the guy can just punch away and win the sprint up the hill. So he would have to be the most all-round cyclist, of the decade.